And so that's how the natural law works, because we can't get rid of energy. It's against the laws of physics, right? But what we can do is make a relationship out of it. And now this very energy that has been almost taking her life has become a teacher to her. And it completely changed, you know, since she hasn't had any attempts, and she understands it for what it is, and she's not scared of it anymore. And so I think that's where we need to be with, and see, and this isn't even anything that my knowledge, this is so old, this stuff is so older than the hills themselves. I'm not telling you anything new. That's the way the universe is wired. And to me, it's an amazing thing to see, especially a young person like this girl, who literally had to be cut down several times because she was already hanging because of this entity that appears in her room ever since she was 5 years old, and nobody had ever asked her about it. And once somebody asked, she immediately picked up and says, finally, somebody asked the right question. And I just ask weird stuff. And so I think that that's what we need to do in our work, because the patients are really ready for this stuff. They're not afraid of it because they're living it. And all you have to do is, especially if you have an alcohol treatment program, or ask some of the patients in that program if they can draw you a picture of the spirit of alcohol, or the spirit of meth, or the spirit of crack, or whatever it is they're doing. And you'll be amazed what they'll show you. They'll show you, they'll draw pictures of what they're seeing. But somebody needs to ask. If nobody asks, then they're not going to make contact with that entity and make a friend of it. And see, when you make a friend of it, what that's doing is it's bringing it out of the black world, out into the world of light, and it takes away its energy. And in a white way, we say, you know, it's making the unconscious conscious. And it removes the energy, the pressure. And so now the symptoms don't have to be there, because the symptoms are only there to remind you that you have to go into the black world to make peace with these gremlins and ghosties and whatever is down there. And I think we can, you know, even make light of it, because it works, and that's just natural law. And so hopefully, I'm glad you asked, because that's one approach that I use. And if nothing else, it's interesting because it's weird. And a lot of times our patients need something that's weird because they're really tired and bored of the other stuff. And I said earlier that I talked to this one brother who'd been in 27 alcohol treatment programs. So what am I going to tell him about treatment? Nothing. He knows more about it than I do. So all I could come up with is talking to the spirit of alcohol, and kind of what I just told you about diabetes. And so then he's found that very interesting, because now he says, well, now I can do that. And so now seeing what that does is it makes contact with the black world, but it also restores your identity as a native person. So it's a 2-for-1 sale here. So you get 2 for the price of 1. Because in doing that intervention and giving the offering, talking to the spirit, you're also bringing back your spirit, because now you're acting as a native person that you are. And so it's restoring your soul at the same time, because now you're doing Indian stuff. And so you're restoring yourself. And so it's really powerful to see an individual go through that.
Good evening. My name is Lisa Charlie. I'm from Chilchimbito, but I'm Jamie is my daughter. She was the youngest of 3. And over the months, I have been going through her things. And I came across one of this in her notebook that she wrote. And I just would like to share this with you. And being here and listening to Dr. Duran since this morning has made me think a lot why we're doing this. And I think it was a way for Jamie to bring this out too. She always wrote in her notebook hope and faith. And She had an assignment that she was writing, and her mission, this is what she wrote, my mission: become a better person, encourage those who come close to giving up, be a better role model for those I love, show my family that there is hope and faith, and anything can be done if you just try hard enough. Don't give up. I feel that this is probably one of the reasons why we have to bring awareness to our community and have hope and faith in our community to be able to help one another. You know, at the beginning I wasn't going to say anything, but it just felt like something kept bugging me that I have to say something. And it probably was her, come on Mom, get up there and say something. And I just wanted to share this with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa, for sharing that. I think that really does speak to what our children are thinking today, what is going through their mind, and that there is something going on out there where we need to have faith and we need to have hope in order to carry on. And I think we need to listen to that. We need to listen to our children more. But thank you for that, Lisa. And Lisa really is the inspiration for a lot of this. And I just want to say thank you. And also to the Tracy family as well. We have a sister here, Dallas Tracy's sister here as well. And so we want to continue to do these sorts of talks in the community, not just bringing in guest speakers, but maybe having a smaller sort of group with community members to talk about how we have been affected by violence and how we can begin to heal, and maybe talk about some of the things that Ed brought up today. It's a lot of information, a lot of really great information that we can kind of just sit down and talk about how it applies to our community, because it's not crazy, and it's not, you're very normal. I've diagnosed you as very normal. But it does really, as you can see, people are standing up and saying, traditionally, this is what we believe. Traditionally, this is a Navajo belief and an indigenous belief. And I think that, it is something that's very normal. And I think that with psychotherapy, we make things so complex when really they are it's very simple, So thank you, Dr. Duran, for coming out here and visiting us again. Everyone give him a round of applause.